What is going on, Busy Bariatrics? Today's guest is someone I've wanted on the podcast for a while. Hannah Schuyler is a registered dietitian with Busy Bariatrics, a University of Florida graduate with clinical training from Tulane University, and someone who spends every day helping bariatric patients stop chasing perfect nutrition and start building nutrition that actually works in real life. We also had the chance to spend time together at the Busy Bariatrics retreat with Betsy Dovek, and one thing became obvious pretty quickly. Hannah has a gift for making complicated nutrition feel incredibly practical. And let's be honest, most bariatric patients hear the word fiber and immediately think one thing: constipation. Meanwhile, they're accidentally missing everything else fiber does. Between hunger, blood sugar, energy, gut health, cholesterol, long-term weight maintenance, and most people have no clue how much they actually need or if they're even getting the right amount. So today we're going to be breaking down why fiber matters after bariatric surgery, how to increase it without wrecking your stomach, supplements versus food, the biggest mistakes patients make, how fiber actually helps you stay full longer, and practical strategies you can start today. So this is the Busy Bariatrics Podcast, and let's get busy. Hannah, you survived the intro. Welcome to the show.
I did survive it, and I'm glad to know all the things we're going to be talking about today. I'm so excited.
Now, the real tricky is, every time we talk, I feel like we sidebar in the best way possible. So
yes.
I gave 7 topics. If we hit 3 for 7, I'm going to be...
We'll be good to go. I love it. Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be back. Last time was with Dr. Dovek. We were here and talking about the retreat, which can we just talk about it for a minute? That retreat in Orlando was incredible, and we were so happy you were there.
We were so excited to be there. I have to tell you, it was really just lights out from start to finish. The board was amazing. I will say the CEO panel, I was highly biased because I was on it.
I liked that one too.
Yeah, everyone. I think that was the one where everyone's like, okay, it's time to go to the bathroom. Or
okay.
But no, anytime you can bring the bariatric community together and meet so many people who are both either considering bariatric surgery or were getting ready to go for bariatric surgery, it really is just a testament to all that you and your team do. So in case people don't know, what did I miss in the intro? And tell us a little bit about, Busy Bariatrics and all the good stuff I need.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, we were so happy to have you guys there. And I know you had a successful weekend of seeing people and doing some training and some different assessments and all of that, which was incredible. And the workout, which I missed. Sorry.
It's always I love the workout. And Lisa may murder me after the retreat because when we have an event, we usually book movement assessments where we're going to teach you how to bench press, how to squat. Just make sure your body can function properly after bariatric surgery so you can get a welcome intro to movement. You have such rabid fans that when we sent out the email for it, I'm pretty sure I called or texted you of you got to turn it off or pause. Yeah. So Lisa had to go from doing the 7 a.m. workout. We booked her from 5 to 7. We both did workouts. Bolted over to do the group exercise, and then I threw her back in, and we did movement assessments essentially till I got on the panel, and then came back and did it again. And it's just a testament of how many people just need help understanding how to use gym equipment, how to move. But the chance that they got to do all of that was amazing, and it was even more impressive how many people showed up because it was an open bar the night before.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it was great. We really loved it. We appreciate. So thank you, Lisa, as well, for your very, very long and hard work today. And then they even shared too. I talked to them when we were doing our activities and stuff. So we know that you guys put in a lot of work for that weekend, and we really appreciated it. But yeah, it was fun. It's always kind of fun. I haven't thought about kind of my University of Florida days. I don't think about them so much. So when I'm like, oh, that's right, I am a Florida grad. I have taught my toddler how to gator chomp, though. It's very important.
That's a good one. See, I went to the 5th best LSU, which is LaSalle University.
Okay.
But no, the initials work, so I can
tell people
LSU, and as long as they don't pick it,
as long as they don't know,
the colors are totally different, but it works. But I curled into the fetal position. This is my 20th anniversary of graduating undergrad, and I want to just die a little now.
Yeah, I'm coming up on 20 years from high school here in a year and a half or so.
Well, this has been a lovely episode, and I want to thank you for your time. This truly always a joy, Hannah. Anywho,
so I, like you said, I'm kind of the dietitian at Busy Bariatrics, and we are a bariatric surgery program based out of Orlando, Florida, but we do see patients from all over. So one of the cool things that we do is all of your visits are virtual with us. So we actually can see anyone from anywhere. The only thing we haven't figured out how to do is a virtual surgery. So you do have to come to Central Florida for that. And then, but it's outpatient. You go to home, hotel, wherever that might be that same day, and then we kick you out.
Here's my hot take. 3 years, I'm pretty sure it'll be virtual. That's my guess.
That we'll be able to just like surgery in your house.
Well, because here's the thing. Like, if you have a Da Vinci machine.
Well, yeah, if we did the robotic virtually, yeah.
I think you, like, do they have that technology yet?
I am very limited in my knowledge about the robot because we do laparoscopic primarily. So it's a little different. But we actually do like to meet you in person, but we find that all of that pre-op and post-op and all of that can be done virtually. Also, I'm not sure if you can hear it through my headphones, but there is a raging storm going on outside of my house right now.
You're good.
So if you hear some really loud thunder, that's what's happening.
I would pay for that if anyone is watching me on Instagram. We have been invaded by Canada geese. I have 64 geese that just roll up every morning onto our lawn, crap everywhere, and then like just stay. Like they just stay, and they're New Jersey geese. Like they just are like, what are you gonna do about it? There's 64.
The same as like Chicago geese.
Yeah,
those things are terrifying.
Horrible.
I used to go for walks on the lakefront in Chicago and like do like long trajectory around the geese.
So
did not care for it.
So how much fiber is in a Canadian goose? Like if we ate
probably none actually, because
protein at least.
Yeah, lots of protein in a Canadian goose, but fiber comes from plants, so you're not gonna find it in a goose. I mean, I guess if the stomach contents, which is really disgusting to think about.
But if you think about it, you look at what a Canadian goose does. It picks through your grass and eats literally every plant, vegetable imaginable, and then they have really consistent stool. And they do proof of it. I have to tell you, we power wash now twice a week.
Wow.
Where it's just massive amounts, but it's always perfectly shaped. If anyone's listening to this episode, they're either going to listen to the whole thing.
This is where they stop.
Like we're going to see the data just drop on this. But like, let's talk a little ish, because like when we talk about fiber, the first thing we think about is constipation or like fiber for pooping.
Yes.
Why do we connect fiber with poop so much?
Yeah, so fiber is going to really help kind of all sorts of poop issues. So if you're constipated, if you have diarrhea, if you have irregular stools, if you've got, like, it's going to do all these things. And there's two types of fiber. So there's soluble and insoluble. So soluble is going to form.
Okay. Before you get into that part, I always treat soluble and insoluble fiber as someone who's like a nutrition coach. This is the difference between a registered dietitian and a nutrition coach, people. I don't know, like I struggle with soluble, insoluble, the same way like flammable, inflammable, where I'm like, something might explode or it's totally
it's fine, yeah.
And this is why I always believe like working with registered dietitians, having them on the podcast. So break it down for us.
Yeah.
Neither one will cause me to catch fire, correct?
Neither will cause you to catch fire, correct. Okay, so you're safe on that one. So the soluble fiber, think about it, it's going to dissolve, essentially. It's going to break down, and then it's going to form like a gel. And that is going to help kind of catch things. It's going to like trap the cholesterol. It's going to do all these great things in your gut. And it's like a prebiotic. So it's going to actually feed the good bacteria in your gut as well. A insoluble fiber doesn't dissolve. And so it's going to add bulk to your stool. And so it's going to also kind of draw things through. But if we need to get that stool moving through it, like you can bulk it up with that insoluble fiber. Truthfully, I kind of sometimes have to look them both up too, because it's the same thing. It's just, and the reality is you need both of them. So like you can kind of talk about both, but just get them both. Just do soluble and insoluble. And there's a lot of foods that have both of them in it. So you can kind of just, as long as we're getting variety, then you're good to go.
I always like say, like, if you eat the rainbow, but it's the same thing. Like when I start to notice when I'm doing a client check-in that the fiber levels are a little low, I almost have to go back to I should probably just have flashcards. Soluble, insoluble.
Yeah.
Because we get to all that. But like if someone has no idea where to start with fiber, especially like insoluble and soluble could be overwhelming.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
What are some no-brainer, easy ways to get fiber?
Eat more beans.
Beautiful.
Eat more beans. That's it. Like that's end of conversation a little bit, because a half a cup of beans, I want to say, has about 8 grams of fiber in it. give or take, kind of depending on variety, but it's going to give you both as well. Your whole grains are going to be another place that you get fiber from, nuts and seeds. So chia seeds have been obviously kind of, I feel like, a bigger nutrition hit lately, and for a good reason. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds is going to give you 8 grams of fiber. And so you think about that like gelling effect. Like if you leave chia seeds to like soak in something, they gel up. And then eventually they sprout a chia pet. But if you don't let them sprout, then you get this jelly, and that's kind of that fiber in there.
I only like in the last 6 months realized that those were the same thing.
The same thing.
Like the chia is the exact same thing that like I was putting in overnight oats for the longest time.
Yeah. So if you just like let it grow, give it a little medium, you could have your own little chia pet.
There
you
we
put
go.
it on anything.
Literally,
you can grow chia on it. There you go. We're just going to sprinkle it.
We need to go to chia.
There you go. Just sprinkle it on your head and you'll have some little green sprouts in there.
It'll be nice.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be an upgrade. Another source that I hear a lot about that seems to be like the new one that everyone's going to is psyllium husk.
Yeah, so psyllium husk is going to be like what some of the fiber supplements are made out of.
Okay.
So that's like, and this is where, again, I don't know these off the top of my head, but Benefiber or Metamucil, one of those is I think Metamucil is psyllium husk. I'd have to Google it. But one of them is psyllium husk, but a lot of the other types of things. So again, it's kind of just the different, different places that you can get. One of my favorite things that makes me laugh, I should say, about fiber supplements is they're all like plant-based. Like that's some selling point. And I'm like, literally it's fiber. Of course it's plant-based. Like it can't from non-plants.
I have to say, like, food marketing, I think, is some of the most evil
it is
things ever. But also it's a sign of, like, as a high school history teacher, I feel like health class now is starting to get better of teaching all these things. But like, back in the late 1900s when I was attending high school, it was
last century.
Yeah, I know. It was just STDs and driver's ed. And it was pretty much like you're going to die if you do one wrong. Actually, you're going to die if you do either one wrong. Was essentially a Catholic school driver's ed health class. And you got a half semester of each from the same guy who chain smokes.
Yeah, it's giving very much the Mean Girls health class.
It was awesome.
Don't get pregnant, because if you get pregnant, you'll die.
And it was literally a guy who'd be like, okay, now sign up for driver's ed with me. And he would like smoke in the car. And I'm just like,
oh, man.
Time to be alive.
Seriously. Yeah, these young kids, they don't know what the 90s were like.
Yeah. I mean,
smoking sections in restaurants.
The best.
Ugh.
I don't even smoke. It's so weird.
I can't. I'm thinking about sitting in a restaurant with in a smoking section. It's ugh.
So my oldest daughter had dance competitions in the Tropicana Showboat. So it's a casino in Atlantic City for and we just don't smoke. Like our family, like no one's cigarette smokers. Like we both have history of heart disease on both our sides. Like it's just like it's not our bag. We've never been I haven't been to a casino in a hot minute. And I just forgot how that chain smoke smell is everywhere. And you're like sniffing your clothes and you're just like,
that was like our bowling alley growing up. And then they renovated it, but like they didn't change the carpets or something, or you couldn't smoke in there anymore. That was against the law, but they didn't renovate or whatever. And you would still go to the bowling alley, and like years later, it still smelled like smoke.
You can't get that smell out of things.
No, I think they did finally renovate. That was what did. Okay. But it was like for years there was no smoking allowed, but it still just smelled like an ashtray.
Yeah. So
anyway,
probably cover. But this is what I love, just catching up with you.
I know
we cover everything but what we said.
Everything but what we said we're going to talk about. Well, to go back to fiber, so psyllium husk is going to be what's found in your supplements. You could add it to so many different things. You could add it to smoothies. You can add it. You could get a dissolvable one. They make pills. They make all sorts of supplements. But I think ultimately for me, and this is kind of my approach in nutrition in general, is that we should really try to get as much as we can from our food and then use supplements as intended as a supplement to the diet. And I think that's where sometimes people kind of get that a little bit reversed. Same with protein and all of that and vitamins and things. Now you should take your bariatric vitamins. I'm not going to say make sure you do that, but other kind of supplementation that's kind of unnecessary.
No, and I think it's interesting because there are a lot of similarities. is. And I think this is like something where like level 1 of bariatrics, I always say, is like protein, 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 more protein, and like put it everywhere. Like put it in your chips, put it like on, rub it into your gums with the powder in between sessions, like have a proffee in the morning, have all this. But I think like where most people trip up is because they don't naturally know like where like a solid sources of protein or even fiber, and it's marketed incredibly misleading by companies. That like people just assume like I have to eat all this protein or I have to supplement with fiber.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and for a bariatric patient specifically, I do think that fiber is one that may need some additional supplementation, because the way that we kind of come up with fiber recommendations is a little based on calorie goals. So for women, about 2,000 calories a day, we're going to be aiming for about 25 grams of protein. For men, it's 31, I think, grams of grams of fiber a day. For men, it's like around 31. And if you're not eating that amount of calories, which especially early on post-op, you're not going to be, it really is then difficult to get enough fiber. So that's where I think that supplementation can come in. But then I also look at kind of, again, these whole foods, very fiber rich options that can fit in. So chia seeds are a great example, because it's, you know, again, 1 tablespoon, 4 grams of fiber. Most people can kind of work that in to a smoothie, into a chia seed pudding, into something naturally in their diet that still fits within the rest of their day. You can do ground flax is another similar one that's going to be easy. Actually, so this was I did a little test of myself today, because I don't track my food intake. I'm not currently on any kind of like weight loss goal or any kind of thing like that. I'm still, you know, actively breastfeeding and things like that. So I'm kind of just doing whatever. But I was like, oh, I wonder how much, like, I'm gonna make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch, and I'm gonna see how much fiber it is. And I actually I wrote it all down. See, I don't even have an app to use. I just wrote it on my Pandastic Ideas paper.
This is what I love about you, and also about like how you teach it. And what I'm excited about for summer camp is I think a lot of the times we get tripped up on these high-end data metrics, when in reality, just kind of being a little bit mindful of, let me see, like, just take a day normal and look, which is what we teach as well. Like, we don't like assigning macros or calories until we see, like, what are they eating for 2 weeks?
Where,
We can get an idea. But, like, just having some mindfulness of, like, I did not know. So share the pad.
So this was my lunch today. I actually took a picture of it, but I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with some baby carrots and a little bit of cottage cheese on the side. And I normally don't measure things, but I did for the sake of this. I actually measured everything out. So my peanut butter had 2 grams of fiber in it and 7 grams of protein. My bread, because I had 2 slices, had 4 grams of fiber and 8 grams of protein. My carrots had 2 grams of fiber. My jelly actually had 1 gram of fiber. And that's another place. So this is an example of somewhere where you could easily boost that up. Make like a chia seed jam and make it yourself. And then you have like a high fiber, kind of lower added sugar type of jam. But I used one that I bought at the store.
You should market that. I'm dead serious. Like a chia seed jam. I don't think I've ever seen it in a grocery store.
Oh, I could. Maybe that'll be my new thing. I'll become a jam maker.
Between newborn, helping Body by Bariatrics, I'm sure that last 2 hours that you were saying you just want to devote to.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to just zone out and stare into the void.
Yeah.
My cottage cheese had no fiber in it. And then onto my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I just sprinkled in between the layers a teaspoon of ground flaxseed, which added half of a gram of fiber, just because I was like, let's add a little bit.
Yeah, but like that's like a simple, practical way.
Yeah.
And like I kind of joke, like, look, like I'm kind of like a dog. If I mix like
just mix it all.
If you mix it all together, I kind of eat most of my fiber if it's like surrounded by other things.
Yeah, you would never know. I could have done more, but that's why I was like, let me see what a teaspoon in here does. And so total for my lunch, I got 29.5 grams of protein because of the cottage cheese that added 13 grams. And I got 9.5 grams of fiber. And so granted, was my lunch probably bigger than somebody who had bariatric surgery is going to eat? Yes, because it was a whole sandwich. It was a side of cottage cheese and a serving of carrots. So like volume wise, it may have been more than somebody, again, especially early days post-op, could be able to eat. Long term, maybe not. Maybe you can kind of get all that in.
So from coaching patients, I will say, as you get further out, obviously your ability to eat food expands. And something that like we always kind of teach is how do you add volume while keeping in a caloric range? And I just feel like there's a lot of fiber sources that kind of help hit that. Like where it's like, yeah, and it really comes down to beans every single time.
Just beans.
And it really, yeah, Skyline chili really just solves
that. There you go. Yeah, that's the number one health food in America. Skyline chili.
Mm-hmm. I have to tell you, like, Betsy's like nuts in the best way possible, in the sense of like she saw my love of Skyline chili, and like keep in mind she's running the full retreat and doing like 37 things. She's like, I'm going to send you something to show you that I actually like Skyline chili. And like, I want to say I'm in the airport the next day because it was a quick trip for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 7 a.m. And like, I check Instagram, and she had made like a Skyline chili post like 5 years ago. She dug it through.
She like sent it to you.
She sent it to me. But like that's the attention to detail I love about your guys' practice and everything of you for a virtual like aftercare program.
Mm-hmm.
You build such great connections with your clients. You make them feel understood and heard. And everyone who we met with and did movement assessments just kept going on of raving fans of the two of you, 3 of you with Dr. Lane as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but your team just gets such amazing, outstanding results first, but also relationships. So these are great.
Well, we definitely make that a priority and appreciate that people do see it and recognize it, but it is definitely something that we've been trying to differentiate ourselves and say, hey, we really are here for the lifetime. And actually we're just going to sidebar here. We actually just this week, starting on Monday, are doing now weekly sessions exclusively for Body by Bariatrics post-op patients with Laura Graybow. So Monday nights, she is doing an hour of basically a support group. It's kind of open-ended. There's not a topic. It's just come as you are, join in. And so that's a brand new thing that we're doing to really help to foster that as well. So we're really excited. It's Body by Support.
I love Laura, and she is another summer camp speaker. And it's awesome when you see how much collaboration happens in our community of just people who have the same shared vision of, look, like we do have to charge and do things, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're giving as much support as possible and getting everything. And it's cool to watch that collaboration happen together.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we're really excited about
summer camp, though.
Yeah.
What are you going? I mean, I know it's fiber. Give us like a little taste and sizzle reel, and then we'll sidebar on like 3 other things.
Well, so I'm going to do a presentation. I was actually working on it before we got in. And it's funny because this is not my original topic. So if you're in summer camp and you're listening and you're looking through the book, you're like, this is not what Hannah said she's talking about. Because I changed my mind and I'm allowed to do that. But I was like, they've got what I was talking about covered. Let me come in and give, like, to me, fiber, you mentioned earlier, like protein has been everywhere. She has been the moment for a long time, not just for bariatrics, but in general nutrition, especially in social media and kind of just that world. Protein has been dominating. Well, fiber is coming to like take her place this year. It's been really, you've probably been hearing more and more about it. And so, I do think people talking about fiber maxing, like things like that's ridiculous. Like, just how about we just rebrand it as eat enough fiber? And so I just wanted to come in and give people resources of these are practical ways to do it. So, what does a day look like? How many grams are we aiming for? What are some of the benefits? We can go into some of that, like insoluble versus soluble and some of that background. But I think that at a certain point, like, people just want to know how to do it and how to implement it in their day-to-day life and how to make it easy and how to fit into their busy schedule and all of that. And so I want to provide that. And so I'm also going to be sending out afterwards, I'll figure out how to do that with you, but like some recipes specifically that will be, the high fiber recipes that are included in the presentation and, some snack options and things. Like, there are so many ways that you can do this and make it part of your daily life that it does just become part of the routine. And then, I'll be curious to see in a year when fiber really has reached its peak and all of that. I want to know what people's labs are starting to do. And if we start to see, we're seeing people now, we see that young people are at higher risk of colon cancer than they've ever been. So that's a big thing with fiber. Cholesterol levels, we can bring down LDL with fiber, other heart conditions, satiety, obviously weight is another one. So a lot of different angles when it comes to it.
And I think like it's in a world where everyone is looking for flashy, sexy answers, like fiber is kind of a lot of like what we do in Busy Bariatrics. It's incredibly boring, repeated consistently, and it just gets results. And it's why like I always joke like I'll take you behind the curtain and let you see what we do in Busy Bariatrics. But it's like we're going to strength train you 3 days full body, and if you want to do more, we adjust accordingly. We're going to track your nutrition, then we're really going to like help you figure out the right protein and fiber.
Yeah.
And we're just going to adjust accordingly. Like your step goal, we're going to see where you are with like, it's not, like drink water, eat protein and fiber, resistance train, and get a basic level of cardiovascular.
Move your body.
Move your body.
Yeah. I always say the best advice is like truly the most boring.
It really is.
And sorry, everyone.
Well, it's nobody comes here for maybe this is the funny one. Maybe this is
there we go
where people are like, no,
there we go.
Landed. It was all
it's like how they talk about if you want your like toddler to eat something, they're like put a sticker on it of like their favorite cartoon. Like this is not a peach. This is a bluey peach, and so then they'll eat it. So maybe that's all we just need to do. Like, this isn't just regular fiber. This is cool fiber. And I think that's what some people are doing, which in that sense, it's fine. If people are basically going to be doing more, but then you worry about the other extreme, people, I'm getting 70 grams of fiber. I'm going to use 80 grams, I'm going to 100 grams. Like, okay, well, apologize to anyone in your life. Like,
I always joke like the end of the apocalypse of nutrition health is when like certain companies get a hold of it and all of a sudden it's like Reese cups have like 8 grams of protein per container. It's like, well, 4 Reese cups at like 200 a pop.
Yeah.
You got 1 gram of protein per 100 calories.
It's not great.
But like when you look at marketing, I think that's really starting to be the trend is you're noticing that it's getting to the front of the label. As opposed to the back, where like the last couple years there's a cookie company, I don't want to get sued, but they pride themselves on like
L&L cookies.
You can say it, I can't, but like yes, where they're like 8 grams of protein, and then you look
cookie.
No, it's not even. But like
its serving is like a quarter of a cookie.
Exactly. So like it's not even a consistent marketing thing, which that's got to be illegal. At some point.
It's not.
Like, I know. And
marketing, and it's interesting because it is very like some of it is very tightly regulated. So like that's why I always tell people, if you see something on the front of label, turn that thing around and look at they can't lie in that nutrition label. Things are rounded, so you'll see like sometimes you'll see if something has 1 serving, but they also tell you if you were to eat like the whole package, it's 3 servings, they'll give you, the math doesn't always add up because there's rounding and things like that. And nutrition is somewhat imprecise anyway, so that's fine, things like that. But that part of it can't lie to you. But the front, they can be vague, it can be unclear, there are some things that have legal definitions, like if it's reduced, if it is heart healthy, if it is low, it has to meet a certain standard compared to like a regular product. But like reduced sodium has to be, I think, 25% less than a normal sodium. I don't remember the exact, but something along those lines. And if it doesn't have that, they can't put that claim on there. But some of them are completely unregulated. Like natural doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just a word.
Yeah, it is.
Another one that pisses me off is the non-GMO label. Have you ever seen non-GMO salt?
Yes. For people who don't know what GMO is, myself included, like, can you just break down why it's misleading and everything? Like,
so GMO stands for genetically modified organism. And so there's like GMO corn, for instance, and it's not available for human consumption as far as I know. It's used for like livestock. But GMO basically is, in my mind, it's kind of like a selective breeding process. So just like we crossbreed our plants, like if you look at a wild type banana or old banana, they have these giant seeds in them. Like they are nothing like we see a modern banana, but a modern banana is not GMO. It's just been selectively bred over the years to the product that we see on the shelves now. GMO kind of takes that time and just like they shorten it, or they can add, they can increase certain nutrients. So like vitamin A, there was golden rice that was a genetically modified crop that was used in other countries that really helped with vision issues because it was genetically modified to be high in vitamin A, which was lacking in these places. And so they actually were able to prevent some vision problems. So that's what a GMO is. A lot of people demonize them. They call it frankenfood. They say that it's, it's going to kill us all, or they use the example of like it glows in the dark. So they did create glow in the dark. I want to say tomatoes. But it was proof of concept. So they took jellyfish, I think, that like glowed, and then they put their genes into the tomato to see if it would glow, and it did. And so, but they're not out there. No one's eating those foods. It was just to prove that they could modify the genes. So anyway, all of that to say is that all these products have this non-GMO label on them, which the company can pay for. But salt doesn't have genes. There's no genetic material in salt. So you see something like salt that's non-GMO, and it's like, or cat litter. I just saw that today. They put out a cat litter that is non-GMO. Like, first of all,
do you know a lot of people eating cat litter?
Right, that's your first problem if you're eating it, and also your cat is peeing in it. Like,
but it's
it doesn't
fiber,
matter.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some sort of gravel. Don't eat cat litter, people. I feel like I need.
We're like, welcome to 2026, where you almost have to put like.
Yeah, the disclaimer.
They're selling high fiber, high protein cat litter. Please do not eat it.
Do not eat it. It's non-GMO though.
It's non-GMO. You're right. Well, that's the beauty of living up in the age of like Tide Pods. Like we had to go
right.
cycle at one point and be like,
man,
hey, this is
you must have seen so much stuff working with high school students.
I gotta tell you, yeah. I still got to keep my day job because I like it.
Yeah,
but it's interesting. I will say 20 years in education, this group of high school kid is so much more conscious on like sleep regulation, caffeine consumption. Like it really does get like protein. They resistance training. Like this next generation of kids, or they're just like kissing up to me because they only bring these subjects up the week the grades are due. But I'm fine with either way.
Yeah.
And again, just like the episode started, if you stroke my ego, it works wonders for me.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting to see, like, they really do a greater job of trying to be aware of what's going on and handling everything.
Yeah.
But no, nutrition labels are nuts like that. And even
they are.
Something we have to teach our clients is, like, you can have a like olive oil spray, I always say, is the fun one where it's like, if you look at a serving size, it's a 1/4 of a second spritz, which then gives them the regulation of that 1/4 second spritz is the amount that you can get to 0 calorie.
Right. Because it's, yeah. Because it average, or it rounds down, right.
It's why, like, I always feel like I get in trouble because as an Italian, I am olive oil heavy in most of my cooking. That's how we were raised. But I measured, like, when I was first getting ready for bariatric surgery, because some people measure with a tablespoon or a teaspoon for olive oil. At the Italian culture, we use our elbow, which means you put the elbow at the end of the pan and you rotate.
Yeah.
The YouTube content, guys, go see the video of this. It's high quality. But, like, you do that and coat the pan. So I measured it once. That added, like, an extra 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
Just because fats are calorically dense. And not that fats aren't bad. It's just that because of their caloric density, like, a little goes a long way.
Yeah.
And the problem is the average American is not eating, like, 1/4 of an avocado or, like, 6 almonds.
No. You know what's great, though?
Measuring.
Avocado has, like, 10 grams of fiber in it.
Double win. I will say avocado is, like, a very nice, it covers a lot of things. But, like, even taking, like, something as practical as, like, have avocado with egg in the morning. And, like, egg whites with avocado in there. So now your fiber, you take the fat out of the egg yolk, but you do that.
You get it from your,
So,
little things. Yeah, it's I think that It is interesting. And it is, I mean, kind of like you were saying earlier, when you have your patients or your clients kind of do that audit of their diet, or they track it without necessarily making changes, of just seeing where they are. And sometimes you do have those little surprising things. Like, I didn't realize that I was getting so many calories from oil, right? And easy, great. Instead of doing 2 swoops of oil, do 1 and you've cut it in half, or measure it and do that. And a lot of times you'll find that, like, maybe at the beginning you're like, this is a little off, but long term you really won't notice. Like, you'll adapt to it, or you'll be like, oh, this tastes just as good as it did when it was. Now, not saying you're going to do that with all of your things, especially if, like, it's an important recipe in your family. You're going to cook it the old way and you're going to enjoy it. But, like, day to day, we can make those changes.
Actually, fully in agreement, because once I started doing that, I realized how little I actually needed. And that really, it was because I was cooking on too high on the pan, so I needed like something.
You just needed to actually learn a little bit of cooking. Yeah.
Don't worry, they removed home ec by the time I got to high school. So it's like, we wonder why people have like these struggles. Did you really?
Yeah.
What was the best thing you made?
Microwave pralines.
Great job by you.
So I was shockingly the teacher's pet, because I already liked to cook, so I already knew, like, I would do stuff at home anyway. And so we made a recipe one day, I don't remember what it was, but it had buttermilk in it. And so we had all this, like, leftover buttermilk, and she's like, here, Hannah, I'm going to give you this other thing to do, and you can make pralines in the microwave with buttermilk, and it's really good.
Well, that's in middle school. Like, I grew up at a mill. Like, my family comes from cabinetry makers, construction, retail, all those typical Northeast Italian Jersey jobs that benefit well. But I grew up, like, I was using a bandsaw by the time I was like 7. So like wood shop, like, everyone's like, okay, we're going to make a birdhouse for the semester. Like, I could do that in one class. So my middle school teacher let me make like 35 birdhouses, but then he sold them. So I made, like, I got...
You just used your labor.
Yeah, but like, smart by him, but it kept me occupied. Like, I was learning how to solder and do everything else. Like, but it was the same thing. Like, if you have a skill, he saw I was talented, and then I started making fancier birdhouses, which
just kind of improved your skills. But yes, so that was the best thing I learned in my...
I'm glad it worked.
Yes, that was what I learned in my cooking class, Mrs. Key.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the time, and all the research and data for my show is painfully aware that people don't go past the 35-minute mark. Like, they just shut off. So we can talk about whatever we want during this.
Oh, great.
But also, I'm going to put you through the lightning round of the Busy method.
Okay.
So the B stands for building habits. What's the best habit anyone can make around fiber?
Around fiber? That's a great question. I think just its consistency. Eat beans every day.
Yeah. Just eat
beans or lentils, but maybe add in one high fiber source per day, and then see what you can do with the other little ones. So whether that's a serving of raspberries, a serving of beans, a serving of chia seeds, one of these, like, very fiber dense foods, add one of those in a day.
Mixed berry mix is just another, like, subtle way to, like, slide it into breakfast. Like, I always say, like, if you struggle with it, with vegetables and fruits are a little bit more, raspberries, blackberries, Greek yogurt, and then toss some psyllium husk or chia seeds in there. Go both. Because the berries will flavor everything, and then you're really making a powerhouse that will keep you full for long. And work.
You can even add, if you like PB&J, you can do peanut butter powder in there too.
I feel like you're eventually going to, like, have a jam and jelly line for...
Yes, I am. It's a peanut butter and jelly themed episode. What's funny is, actually, until the last few years, I didn't eat jelly. I don't eat a lot of fruit personally.
Okay.
Just a preference, not because I think anything's wrong with fruit. I personally don't like it, but I did start to get into jellies a little bit more. Yeah, I like banana. Can't stand it. Peach, get it away from me.
You don't like peaches?
No. My mom told me the other day she's really sad that I don't like peaches because she had some really good ones.
Jersey peaches are highly underrated. We're known for blueberries, tomatoes, and corn. A Jersey peach, and as of this recording, I don't know why I'm saying as of this recording, it's coming out in 2 weeks. Well, no, it's peach season.
It is, yeah.
Like, you can just get them off the back of a truck, and they.
Well, I think you can get decent in Florida, I think, and then Georgia obviously is just a little further north of us, so you can get them fresh.
Yeah.
But no, I don't like a lot of fruits. So I will do a very limited jelly and jam line to my specific fruit preferences.
There we go. So we have the hot one. And now we're going to the U in busy, which is understanding nutrition. Power rank your top 3 favorite beans. I'm going to throw you curveballs through this whole.
I like a white bean. I think they're super versatile.
Good.
I love black beans. And then third favorite, probably lentils. You can even add lentils into like ground beef. So if you're making like a red sauce with ground beef, throw lentils in.
Sacrilegious for the Italians listening, but for everyone else, it's totally good and
sorry. We're modernizing things, okay?
My 95-year-old grandmother will drive down there.
Don't let her listen to this.
If she figures out how a podcast works, then like we've hit the end of the world.
She'll fly down to Florida and give me a little Italian backhand.
It's kind of funny because her definition, when she's like, she has to explain to her girlfriends who are still alive what I do. So her answer is, well, he flies down to like these places and tells them stop eating. And I'm like, that's her definition of like from bariatric surgery to this. Like all she tells people is like, well, no, he stopped eating and he lost all that weight. Like, and
just doesn't eat anymore.
Yeah, you can't make it up. Okay,
incredible.
Active. What is your favorite way to stay active?
Currently, picking a toddler up and down off of the ground 57 times a day.
Honestly, like also lift up and get the push press, and
I do that with the little one.
Yeah.
She's probably about 12 pounds, maybe 14 pounds. I don't know.
Biggest mistake I see young parents and people with toddler kids is this idea of like they have to like go on a treadmill or anything when in reality, like take your kids to the park and run them raw. And
we do that, except it's like 100 degrees here every single day. And like I said earlier, gigantic thunderstorms. Yeah. It's very difficult right now in Florida.
Also true. I'm just saying in general. You know?
No, yeah, absolutely. Get them outside.
I look in hindsight, my youngest was 5. Stella was 5 when I had bariatric surgery. I would tell her we're not going to the park till I hit my step goal. And it took like 2 other parents to be like, if you just play with your kid in the park, wouldn't you hit your step goal? And I was I know better, so now I do.
Yes. The other great activity tip is have parents with a pool, and then you go swimming at somebody else's pool. And you don't have maintenance.
The D'Amelios are still community pool people. As recording.
Recording.
Well, yeah, you never know. Like maybe we should. Here's the fun part. The week before this episode comes out, I recorded with Nina and Pam from the Barry Besties, and I recorded it a year ago.
Wow.
I batch it all in the summer, and then I just release it as I see what goes fit. So like some of these recordings, I go from like having a massive beard. Other like times you can tell like my face is thinner. Like I just accordion for this, but the beauty is only like 5 people watch the video on YouTube. Yeah. So we're good. I have a face built for podcasting.
There you go. Face for radio.
Yes, exactly. So the why is for showing up for yourself. How do you do that?
I do have to say right now I'm kind of a little treat after bedtime girl. So we put the kids down, we wait till they're asleep, and then I get some sort of little treat. Sometimes it's even just a couple little chocolate chips. And then I watch some sort of TV show while I'm doing dishes.
I used to track in advance an emotional support protein bar.
Okay.
And it was nice because during the day, if there was like donuts in the break room, I already had about 300 calories tracked. Where I could either say like, okay, this is like a Dunkin' donut, not to knock Dunkin', but like it's not like the local bakery donut.
Right.
Do I want that more than the protein bar? And there were some days that it was yes, and it was like, okay, then I'm having the donut. But then there's other days where it was no, and I knew it was still waiting for me at home. And at home, I could either have the treat at the end of the night, or I could just be like, you know what, I did have a donut today, and just some mindfulness around it.
Yeah, just around it.
Even just from that sense of like, don't deprave yourself, but just pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
All right. So you're like, we spelled busy.
We did.
But we put an exclamation point at the end. We did. I know. It's like a little extra. A healthy source of dopamine. What's like your healthiest way to either self-regulate or like emotionally regulate or just kind of like chill out?
I think something that like finding something that's going to make me laugh is going to be like just that pure source of dopamine. So my daughter has been liking to play dinosaurs. So she and my husband typically chase me, but then she'll switch halfway through to be a dinosaur or not. And so that's been a big one at our house. And so my husband yesterday was like, or 2 days ago was like, can you order dinosaur onesies off of the internet? And so we did. And so yesterday we got them and they were chasing me around the house in dinosaur costumes. And I was just like cackling. And it was her little butt wiggling in a dinosaur outfit.
Now you
10
have
out of 10.
questions. What is your daughter's favorite dinosaur?
We're not quite that advanced yet. I think the only one she remembers is T-Rex.
Okay.
So
and now
yeah.
this is where it gets awkward. What's your favorite dinosaur?
I feel like I always liked the Triceratops that may be lingering from Land Before Time. With Sarah.
Roller coaster.
Yes.
I can't even watch that movie.
I tried recently. We put it on and I was like, wait, I don't remember, I was a small child when I watched it. And so I didn't remember how emotionally traumatic. Now we have a fun story in our family about that movie is that it came out and we loved it. And there was like some sequels, but then Jurassic Park came out and my sweet darling grandfather wanted to do something nice and he used to record stuff for us, so we'd have all these like VHSs recorded off of the TV. He recorded Jurassic Park for us. Meanwhile, that came out in 97, I think, so I was 7 years old, and he gave us, maybe it was the next year because it was like out on TV or whatever, but I was very young and he started playing Jurassic Park for us. My mom came in and was like, what is happening? And so we had to turn it off. And
I think that's great because I think everyone in that age range, because we definitely had my aunt took us to see a movie about dinosaurs. And it was like, oh my God, David L. Jackson gets mauled to death in this thing.
Yeah, it was not The Land Before Time, 2 or anything like that.
Where they just tastefully let the mother die and let like Littlefoot spend like 45 seconds talking to his dead mom.
Yeah, it's very long.
It's long and it's also like
in the rain.
It took me like 10 years to recover when I watched with my kids. So thanks for bringing
Yeah, we may prolong that one at our house.
Yeah.
So
well, Hannah, as always, it's like so much fun to just hang out
and talk
with you. We should do this more often.
I know.
But real quick, anything to plug besides summer camp? Because I'll plug that at the end. But what else is going on with you guys down in Central Florida?
No, I think our biggest thing is, like I said, the Body by Support with Elora. So that's just something really exciting. Again, it's only a lot of the things that we do, we try to like really be inclusive of other programs. Like our events are very open. Our monthly support groups are open to anybody. This is very much for Body by Bariatrics patients, specifically for post-op. It's not for our medical weight loss patients. It's not for pre-op. Like this is really truly a place for that population to kind of have that open dialogue. So that's really, really going to be, we're excited about it. And Laura said the first session went really well. So that was great. And then otherwise, I mean, at the moment, no big events on the horizon, anything like that, but we will let you know as soon as we do.
Can't wait. And I just love the fact that you are holding a safe space with a medical professional to handle all that. And Laura is just a national treasure. And again, another summer camp speaker, which is why I'm so excited to have you and Betsy come on for our July series. And I think she's August.
She is. Yeah, she's the week after me.
Perfect. So then we have that. So I'm excited that everyone will get a chance to listen, love this episode, and go through. So if you are still listening, congratulations. You are one of the 17 people, which is growth. Last year we were down to 5, so we've tripled our listenership.
Incredible.
In 45 seconds. But if this episode helped you, could you do me a favor? Send it to another bariatric patient who thinks fiber is only something you worry about when you haven't pooped in 3 days. Then take a screenshot and tell them they need to poop more, listen to this episode. And you can share it on Instagram. You can tag My Weight is History. You can tag Body by Bariatrics. You can tag Hannah Instagram handle.
HannahSchuyler.rd.
Yes, all the poop things just send right to her. And if you're joining us, directly to her. If you're joining us for summer camp, Hannah's going to go even deeper into the strategies you can start using immediately. As always, we'll see you next week and keep getting busy. Have a great one, Hannah.
Bye.